Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a first edition of the Blackpool FC show. Could be doing all sorts of things on Monday night, but this week with the Blackpool FC show, I've got three guests with me. So I'm going to go round the boards. We've got Freddie Abram. Good evening, Freddie. How are you?
Hello. Good evening. I'm fantastic. How are you?
Right, you've just frozen a little bit there, Freddie, but good evening. Underneath him, we actually got two of the Yorkshire Seasiders in. So we've got Phil Corbett. Good evening, Phil.
Evening. Looking forward to this.
Good, and we've also got Ollie Charles next to him, another Yorkshire Seasider. Yorkshire Seasiders, good evening, Ollie.
Good evening.
Are you all right? Let's just have a quick look as to who we've got in. We've got Eugene McGeever in, who's saying Blackpool's next two games into the end of the season is a must-win if they want to get in the Championship next season. I think you're absolutely right there. I think we'll all agree with you on that, won't we? We've got to win these next two. I don't know if it's a must-win, but we really could do with getting back on the winning track. Forever Football PFC, hello. Peterborough United fan says no FVP tonight. No, I did actually do a video on it. The FVP for now is it has been put on ice because I couldn't seem to be taking it any further at the moment. I want to concentrate on this running at the end of the season. Logan Wiseman is here. Hello. Peter Donnelly is here. Hello. Reece Jefferson is here. Hello. Logan Wiseman is wearing his top right now. Fantastic. That's good to know. We can't see it, but I'm sure you look splendid in it. Let's have a look who else we've got in. Jamie Poulton. Janice Poulton. It's Haley. Right. Okay. That's confusing. Eugene McGeever says hello and happy Monday to us all. And Ryan Dunbar is in, our moderator extraordinaire. Mark Abbott is here and Will Brown is here. Right, boys, I'm going to be talking, one more, Toby Royals up the mighty pool. Right, we're going to be talking about, and I want you to post in the comments to the guests as well, basically talking about tonight, can we get promoted this season? So you post, you can obviously as guests post in the comments and let me know what you think. I'm going to ask Freddie first. Do you think we can get promoted this season, or do you think injuries are going to be a big part of it? I'll ask you first.
Yeah, I do believe we'll finish with top six. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. We can hear you, but
yeah,
I think you just caught up now. Your video's caught up with you. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I do believe we can finish. I do think we can get promoted. I think it will be via the playoffs. We've got some games coming up. Sunderland away at home. Looking over the next 11 fixtures, I believe there's about 5-6 that we win that will help us.
Freddie, you may just have to go out.
I do think again.
Freddie, we're just not getting you somehow. I don't know why. You're just Daleks out and cutting up all my. I'll go to Phil. I'll ask you the same question, okay. Phil. For now, Phil. Can we get promoted? Maybe go out and come back in again, Phil.
I think definitely. I'd be more confident if we, as you've said, the injuries must play a part. But on the other hand, if we get 4 or 5 of those players back in the net after the next couple of games, say, it's like having a real boost to the squad, which other teams won't get. You know, we're in a position where, in effect, we're getting 4 or 5 new signings, and I think that could be the springboard to really push us on.
I think you could be right there if these injuries come back.
Yeah.
Ollie, how are you feeling? Do you think we can get promotion this season, or do you think it's just going to be the injuries are going to get in the way? And
no, I think if we can see out the rest of the season without getting any more injuries, then yeah, I think we can push on for promotion. With this break now that we've got till Friday, it gives hopefully some injuries that are out at the moment for players to come back, and it gives the players that have been playing week in week out to freshen up. So I think if we can't afford to be getting any red cards either. So.
No, that is another thing, isn't it? Suspensions as well is a problem, isn't it? It's going to be a problem if we do pick up. Does anybody know? Because I keep asking, have we got to that point where all the suspensions are kind of rescinded and we're at that part of the season where you kind of start again? Or do we know if there's players that are really,
Yeah.
close to a suspension, because we haven't had a single player suspended so far this season, which is quite amazing. Apart from the red cards, obviously.
I don't think we have, because I think you got to that point where they had to have 10 bookings to get a suspension. I'm not sure we've got anybody that close to 10.
I thought it was 5. What is it? Wasn't it 5?
But I think it was 5 up to about February, and then 10 to the end of the season. So I think we've gone past the 5 one-match ban. So and I don't think with anybody, people might have gone past that now. But when you think about it, we've been losing centre halves at a rate of knots, haven't we? 9 different, and they're the ones most likely to get cards.
Yeah.
And because they've been chopping and changing all the time, that might be why we haven't been picking up the cards.
Just going to the comments here very quickly. Peter Donnelly says, absolutely, we can get promoted. Stephen Roberts says, can we get promoted? I certainly hope so. I hate League One. Be any above us. After 2 Sunderland games, we'll know the answer. We don't want them in the playoffs. I think that's going to be the key. Let me just get the league table up if I can. Let's have a look and see. So we know.
Can I just ask quickly? Can you guys hear me now? Is it?
We can hear you, but your picture's frozen, Freddie. I don't know why your picture is just frozen all the time. You're just freezing. I don't know what to do about it, to be honest, but we can hear you fine. Right. You may be better just for tonight going maybe just audio and just just come in on audio only because it's just freezing.
Just give me 2 minutes. I'm gonna flip my phone. 2 minutes, guys. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. Right. So we're going to show up the league table here. Let's put it on. There we go. Okay, so we can see that. So at the moment, I hope you can all see that. We've got Hull City at the top of the league, who've played 38. They've won 21 games, drawn 7. They're on 70 points. Peterborough, we beat them midweek, and I was thinking they might be one we could rule out. But, unbelievably, they come back to beat Accrington Stanley 7-0 on Saturday, didn't they? So they're not out of it. Sunderland are there. They've played 36 games. They've got 67 points. We've played 35, and we've got 57. We've got them to play twice. So if by some miracle we beat them twice, we'd have 6 points onto there. We'd be on 63, wouldn't we? If we beat them, yeah, we'd be on 63. They're on 67, so we'd actually be 4 points behind with the game in hand. So we can't actually pass them. Lincoln, we can get past because they're on 62 points, and we could get to 63. And Portsmouth, we can get past. We can have 60, they've got 58, and Doncaster Rovers are level with us on 57. So it's very tight, isn't it? So
Doncaster
do you guys
been dropping, haven't they? Recent form, Doncaster not been playing well.
Yeah. Doncaster have gone a little bit at the moment, haven't they? I think.
Yeah.
Back in now, isn't back in? He's upside down. Are you there, Freddie?
Hi guys. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, that's better, Freddie. We've got, we'll have to live with this angle. Unfortunately, it just doesn't. Right. Okay. So we're just talking about the positions in the league and who we can catch first of all. Can you see that league table there, Freddie?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Somebody pointed out. Stephen Robertson pointed out the 2 Sunderland games are the really important games. And when you look at that table, even if we beat Sunderland twice, and we win our game in hand on them, we're still a point behind them. So unfortunately, because they won on Saturday and we only drew, we can't actually get past Sunderland. Peterborough, can we get past them? Can we tell off this? Peterborough?
No.
69 points. No, we'd only be on 63. So we're 6 points behind Peterborough. So it's looking very likely that if we're going to get up, we're going to go up through the playoffs, aren't we?
Yeah. I'd be happy to stay in 6 and Peterborough drop down to 3rd and play them in the playoffs.
Yeah, we don't really want Sunderland, do we?
I think the best thing about us this season, the best thing about us this season, lads, is that we have done really, really well against the top 6 that are obviously in there at the moment. Being a Blackpool fan, we love to finish in the top 2, but that's not really the Blackpool way, is it? Each time we've been promoted over the last few years, we've always got up via the playoffs, and it gives us a fantastic journey. And just before we started tonight, Phil was actually saying that there's about 10,000 fans, Blackpool fans, that could possibly go into Wembley. So what a fantastic way it'd be if our first game this season to get behind the lads was at Wembley.
Yeah. There's going to be. We need to sort of know, don't we, early if we are going to go back in, because I suppose there's going to be a case of getting there, isn't there, and booking transport and everything, which will be the difficult part, won't it? How will the Yorkshire Seasiders?
We would definitely be taking a bus, taking a 50-seater coach, if not more, depending on how many tickets we can get.
Yeah.
Last couple of times we've been to Wembley, we've took 2 coaches, plus people have made their own way there. We had 131 for the West Ham game in a block. So we'll certainly be taking as many as we can get.
Obviously, we're not saying at this moment in time that we're booking our tickets to Wembley as we did against Bradford.
No, exactly.
Posting directions on this website to Wembley. We won't be doing that, will we?
Before I go any further, I still think we can get automatic, so we won't need a coach.
Okay.
Right, okay. Well,
there's a lot of games to play yet. And a lot of those teams have to play each other as well. So somebody has to drop points.
We're going to go through them as well tonight. We're going to go through all the teams and show you what their run-ins are so we can have a chat about it. Ollie, would you be going to Wembley if Blackpool get to Wembley?
Yes, I would be indeed. To be fair, I also thought we could still get the automatics, but I hadn't looked at the team's bubbles and their fixtures for the remaining of the season, so I wasn't too sure. But I've never stopped believing since the start of the season that we couldn't get promoted.
Yeah. I think we all felt that, didn't we? In pre-season, when you saw Blackpool, score those, 2 goals up against Everton in like 10 minutes, and then or was it 3 goals? Did we score 3? Yes, 3 goals against Everton. It was 2 goals against Liverpool, wasn't it, as well? Before he changed the complete team. So, yeah, it was all looking good. Jane put a bet on for automatic, for top. She bet £20 on actually winning the league, which I don't think is going to happen now. But yeah, there's still a chance. However, Peter Donnelly here says, don't forget, in 2010 and in 2016, we beat the so-called favourites in the semis over 2 legs. Yeah. We did. Now, I've touched on this before about our record in the playoffs, and I've looked back at the team in all these playoff situations we've been in, and we've always gone in with a very, very strong team. So, when we got promoted with, Brett, through with McMahon, we had Ornrod was in, Murphy was in, Simo was in, all the stars were in that team that year. With Andy Morrell, Keegan Parker, Wes Houlihan, all the stars that were in that team. There was hardly anybody missing. In the Premier League, when we got from the Premier League, with DJ Campbell, all the stars were there. And we've got big stars out at the moment. We do need them back. We're not going to get CJ back, are we? I mean, I think that's a given now. There's no chance.
Yeah. I personally think we play better without CJ, to be fair. When he went out on injury, we actually learned how to play the ball to the left and to the right and through the middle. But when he's in, I just think our only option is just to try find Hamilton, and I don't think that is the best way. I don't know. I think we've been playing better without him. Personally.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I agree with that. I think when we've had Mitchell on the right or Ward, they've both performed exceptionally well. I think the only thing that we kind of miss about Hamilton, being in all honesty, is his pace. We can get from one side of the pitch to the other very, very quickly. But it's just his end product, isn't it? Obviously, before his injury, he was developing his end product, but then it seemed that the couple of games he came back from injury, he wasn't he wasn't getting to those levels that he was previously. It is a blow, but we've got Ward and we've also got Mitchell who can play in them positions.
Yeah.
There's a couple of digs in the comments already against the Yorkshire. See, 69 says the Yorkies will walk to save money.
Yeah, you're right.
He says, again, he says, I believe whippets are not allowed because of COVID.
Can I point out? I don't have a whippet. I have a greyhound. I have a greyhound, a proper big dog.
Oh, you actually got brilliant.
I've got a Saint Bernard in there, so
there you go. Yeah, we can ride down to Wembley on them.
Yeah.
Well, I'm quite jealous, to be fair. It takes us 2 hours from Blackpool to get to Yorkshire, and then another couple of hours from Yorkshire to London. So you've already made it. You've already started your way there.
Yeah,
we're well on the way.
They are.
We're well on the way.
Bedroom says there'll be a bloodbath over tickets, but I would imagine all those that got the season tickets will be first in line to get them. And I got season tickets. We got 4 season tickets. I think we sold 4,000, didn't we? So
yeah,
definitely all the season ticket holders will be going. And then after that, it'll be murder, won't it? Let's have a look. Any more comments we've got here that can go through? There's quite a few coming in, so let's just put them up. I'll get rid of this now and then put us back. So just get rid of that table. So we're all back there. That's great. Red Room thinks we'll finish at best 4th. You thinking?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think 4th. I think with the fixtures we've got, we'll finish around 4th or 5th.
Heinz 69 says he would take 2 draws against Sunderland. Would we be happy with that, guys? 2 draws against Sunderland? Can we beat Sunderland?
I think we can beat Sunderland away. I think we're exceptionally good away, but at home, yeah, maybe a draw at home. 4 points out of 6 would be a good return for me.
Yep. I don't think we've ever lost at the Stadium of Light. I can't think of us losing there. I can think of us winning there and drawing a few, but Roker Park we lost regularly, but not at the Stadium of Light. And as I said on Sunday after the Plymouth game, I prefer us against these good sides who come at us because we play well against those because it creates space for us.
Yeah.
So I'd fancy us getting more points against Sunderland than I will against Gillingham on Easter Monday, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at
Gillingham, surely to God. I won't accept if we get beaten by Gillingham. I can't stand the way they play.
No, I can't stand the way they play, but that's why
it's the manager I can't stand.
Yeah. It's,
Steve Evans.
Yeah. The whole way they set up, it just it's so niggly and it frustrates me. And I think it frustrates the team, and that's why we don't play well against them.
I think last time we played them, all they were bothered about is I'm sure they were wasting time and trying to fake injuries here and there. And the ref was poor, giving away free kicks every 2 seconds. It's like
it was like that at Bloomfield Road last season. They bring like 2 trainers on, don't every time there's 2 trainers come on, and they come on like, I don't know, like the vultures out of whatever that cartoon was, and they just slope on, don't they? They take all the time, running across dead slow with everything, and they get over there, and then the guy's dying, then he just gets back up. And then, I don't know if you remember at Gillingham, there was a guy, they did a substitution, and the guy took about 3 years to actually get off the pitch. It was the slowest walk round. I thought, how much more time can you waste? And they were wasting so much time. Honestly, I would love to beat Gillingham. It's something I really wanted to beat Plymouth, and I didn't get that out of my system because of the stupid last goal, which maybe touch on because that is affecting where we would be, actually, isn't it? In fact, looking at that table, we have dropped 6 points at home from winning positions late on in the game, haven't we? And I don't know what's happened with our game management, because there was a time a few months ago where people were saying Blackpool have learned the ability to win ugly and win a 1-0, and hold on. And you remember Gary Medine was taking it in the corner and he couldn't get the ball off him. And I watched the England game. I've done 2 live streams on the England game, and I've watched England pass the ball around the back, around the middle, around the side for probably, I would say, out of 90 minutes,
70.
about 60, 70 minutes have just been holding on to the ball and passing it back and passing it across. So why, when it gets the last 5 minutes, do Blackpool seem to lose all the ability to just be able to pass the ball around themselves, and it all goes panicky? And if they don't sort that out,
I think
that will be our undoing. I think
early on in the season, when we did start to have 1 goal advantages, we always sat back and we didn't actually try to get a second goal, and that's when we'd concede. But now we're actually going for the second goal, not getting it after chance after chance after chance, when we should be at least 2 goals clear and then concede. So at least we're trying to go for the second goal. It's just we're not getting it.
We're not getting it, are we? And there was a couple of times on Saturday really where we should have got it. There was the one where the keeper did a. I mean, that kid's been a thorn in our side over the 2 games, and that I can't remember who had the shot. But he tipped it, didn't he, onto the post, and it bounced back straight off the post. And Kai just couldn't. It kind of bounced over him, didn't it? Somehow he just couldn't get a foot on it. Or else that was a goal. And of course the bit where we're talking on Saturday where Jerry Yates was stepping over the ball, and you thought he's just going to crack this in the in the top bins on the far side, and he just blazed it over the bar, and those were 2 great chances. Freddie, do you think that could be our undoing? I mean, you add 6 points onto Blackpool, and we've got 63 points.
With games in hand. Yeah,
with games in hand. Yeah, we would be really up there, wouldn't we?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's easy, guys, to look at the ifs and buts. If we'd done this, if we'd have done that, but unfortunately, we haven't. And what we need to do in order to be successful is learn from those mistakes that we've made, and then look to rectify them for future games. I mean, what really frustrates me is, okay, we've done exceptionally well this season, coming into the later part of it. Yeah. But the last couple of games where we've conceded late against Plymouth, we've conceded late against Wimbledon. It's really frustrating as a football fan, because you're just thinking, get hold of that ball, get into the corner, and do not let the opposition get the ball. But yet we haven't done that, and twice now we've conceded really late. And even though we didn't get a loss on Saturday, we were gutted. We thought it was a win, and it got taken away from us just because our game management wasn't as good as what it should be.
There's a question here from Eugene McGeever, our favourite Simpsons character, who says, would you play Ellis Sims this Friday afternoon for Blackpool away at Swindon Town? Would you consider playing Ellis Sims? He's not had a look in recently, has he? Would he be one to bring back in?
I'd be thinking, if Jerry Yates is fit, Jerry Yates plays. We need 3 points on Friday.
I prefer Yates over. Sorry to cut you off, but I prefer Yates over Sims. Yates, what's the word? Pressing wise,
I think he's probably meaning. I think he's kind of meaning Ellis, Sims, and Yates. Would you go back
together to 2?
Yeah. Would you change it and go?
No, I wouldn't. We've tried it previously and it's not worked. I think what Critchley's tried to do with Sims is to play him in the same position as Medine. It's not worked. I think that the best way to get the most out of Sims is to play in the same position as Yates. But obviously Yates has got 15 league goals now this season, and there's not a chance in hell that Sims is going to play in that position unless something happens to Jerry Yates, and touch wood, nothing does.
Yeah. Thing is with Sims and Medine is that Medine's got more experience and knows how to win fouls, where Sims is giving them away.
Yeah, there's been time and time again this season where Sims has been knocked off the ball, and he doesn't seem to have that strength. But yeah, unfortunately, I think Sims is a good player. He's got bags of potential to be excellent, and I do think that one day in a couple of years, we'll see him playing in the Premier League. But just for now, I just don't think he suits what we need right now.
No, I agree.
I think we're all agreed on that. So that's a no to that question. Then we're not playing Ellis Sims on Friday. Maybe bring him on as a late sub. If we again, it's just he came on against Wigan when we were 3-0 up, and he played fantastic, didn't he? You just like to see him come on with that, with no pressure on him. And I think we can beat Swindon surely away from home. They're not that great other this season. They're quite low down. It's it's a bit like the Wigan game. Surely we're good enough to beat Swindon.
Yeah, what really concerns me, lads, is the last 11 games is we only have 3 against teams that are in the top 6. Now, if you look at us overall this season, we've actually done a lot better against the higher teams who come and attack. Now, looking at the last 11, we've got the teams of like Rochdale away, Northampton away, Bristol Rovers away. Yeah, they're going to be fighting for their lives to try and get out of the relegation zone, and we need to come together as a team. And it relates to what Brett Ormrod said in the event you did with him, that it's good to attack the better teams, but against the lower, poorer teams in the division, that's when you need to unite as a team. And those games can actually be a lot harder than playing the higher division teams. Yeah, or higher place teams in a division. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right, so let's go through this, guys. What we've got Swindon Town away on Friday. We just talked that. I think it's definitely a must win. Then we've got the dreaded Gillingham at home on Monday.
Mustn't lose.
Mustn't lose. I will be devastated if we don't win these two games. I'm sorry. I really do want to beat Gillingham. After that, we've got Lincoln City away. Now, I would have been thinking let's see if we can just get us a bit bigger and that smaller. I would have been thinking this was a tough away game, and we don't often have a lot of joy at Lincoln. Notoriously in the playoffs back in the 80s, they're a nightmare team, but we don't have a lot of joy. But they've gone off the boil. Just hopefully they'll be still off the boil. Oh, I've got rid of everybody there. Why am I not doing that? Let's see if I can get this to.
I think realistically, lads, looking at the next three fixtures, I think a return of about 7 points from 9 would be a good return. Swindon Town away, we should be looking to beat them. I personally think at home we're not great. Gillingham, 10th in the league, I think we'll get a draw there, and I think we should be looking to beat Lincoln away. We've not done well there historically. But we do better against the teams in the top 6. So a return of 7 points from 9 should be a realistic target for the next 3 games.
Okay.
I was going to say this season we've won at 5 grounds where I've never seen us win.
Okay.
Lincoln being and hopefully we'll make it 6.
Wow. So
don't forget we didn't actually have a win away for a year, and then obviously this season we've done really well.
Which of the 5 teams, Phil? Obviously, Charlton.
Off the top of my head, Charlton. Last time we won was 1976, I think, and I didn't go. Burton, never won there.
Okay. Peterborough.
MK Dons.
I've
seen us win at Peterborough.
Okay.
Where else haven't I seen? I can't remember who the other one was. Can't remember who the other ones were. But I looked the other day, and there were 5 grounds where.
At Bristol Rovers.
I've seen us win at Bristol before, but that one there. Shrewsbury Town. We've never won at the New Meadow.
Ah, right. Okay.
Oh, we didn't win again, actually, so forget that.
No.
Can't remember. I'll look it up and I'll tell you in a minute.
Ollie, on that, would you agree with Freddie on that? We can get 7 points out of Swindon, Gillingham, and Lincoln. Will we be looking
to be fair, with Lincoln being on the run they're on at the moment, I would say possible 9. But the way Gillingham play and the way the form they've been on, I can see a draw happening there. But we need a win against Swindon. Definitely. So that's 3 points, and then you've got Gillingham. It's either we beat Lincoln and draw to Gillingham, or we, vice versa.
Okay. So the next 3, then we've got Accrington Stanley at home, Sunderland at home, and Rochdale away. What do we think from that? We'll start off with Phil. Points out of that. How do you see those three games going?
Accrington have really gone off the boil. Hopefully that will still be the case, and we can pick up 3 there. I quite fancy us to beat Sunderland, in all honesty.
Okay.
And Rochdale's one of those places where we usually struggle, actually. I've seen us win there, but it doesn't happen often. I think it's, again, where we'd be looking for another 7 as a minimum. If we push on.
That would be great, wouldn't it? So if we could get
Oxford was one of those grounds, by the way. We'd never won at the Kassam.
Oh, Oxford, yeah, okay, yeah.
Should have remembered that. It was the other one.
You should have done, yeah. I think I was on the video where he said he never actually won.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I went down to Oxford game. You didn't at once, Phil?
Yeah, absolutely. We drove down, didn't we? Yeah.
It's not a great ground for us, but we've won there as well, aren't we? Freddie, would you be looking to get 7 points of that out of Accrington, Sunderland, Rochdale?
In an ideal world, Accrington Stanley have really gone off the boil. They got battered, didn't they, 7-0 against Peterborough. Sunderland at home, I feel a bit tricky. I'd like a draw at home, and then Rochdale away, bottom of the league. Probably another 7 points from 9 would be realistic.
We can beat Rochdale. Right, the next 3 are Shrewsbury Town away at home, Sunderland away, and Northampton Town away.
Another ground where I've never seen us win. Northampton, Sixfields.
Right. Okay. Blooming heck. Crikey. Phillips,
There's a lot of them.
This is the season then for us, isn't it? If
It
you're
is.
going to these grounds, a good win, Ollie. Ollie, go on. What would you reckon there then? Shrewsbury, Sunderland.
It depends. If we beat Sunderland in the home game, I'm sure we can not work out how to play. I'm sure we can beat in the away game. Shrewsbury and then Northampton. It's like we always don't do well against good teams. The bad teams, sorry. But I can see us at least getting 8 points maybe out of that. 8 points. Is that even doable?
It's not impossible.
No.
7 or 9. 6, 7 or 9. Yeah.
No, it's not even possible. Wow, what an idiot. No,
I think we're going to get 26 points out of the next 3 games.
That's great, wouldn't it?
No,
so
it depends.
okay.
If we beat Sunderland in the first, if we beat Sunderland at home, I think we can beat them away and beat the rest of them. They're all gash. So yeah, it's 9 points. So I can see us getting that.
9 points. We are confident in this stream, aren't we?
I'm thinking 5 because Shrewsbury we never do well against, and Northampton we never do well against. That's all I'm saying. But maybe this is our season.
Sunderland away. I think we can beat Sunderland away.
But Northampton and Shrewsbury, they're gash. I mean,
yeah, but they're not when they say this all the time, and then we end up playing against bloody Real Madrid when they play against us for some reason. We get this all the time. So the last 2 games is quite interesting because we've got 2 home games, which is very unusual, isn't it? Normally, you'd be thinking to yourself, "This is fantastic," to finish the season with a home game against Donny Rovers, and hopefully they've fallen to pieces by the time they get to us. And Bristol Rovers, who hopefully will be relegated by the time they play us. So we've got 2 home games, but the home games have been our Achilles heel over the last. We've just played 5 games at home and only won 1. Whereas away we've won the last 4, haven't we? So go on in the last 2 games. If we need to beat Bristol Rovers to stay in the playoffs, can we beat them? Oh,
probably not. I think when I went away against Bristol, 4-5-0 we lost. 4-0, yeah.
Last season.
I think that Doncaster Rovers game at home is going to be a tricky game. I mean, Doncaster. They've had a bit of bad form at the minute, but they're no pushovers. They've got some good players, and I just kind of hope. I kind of hope that it's not a game that we need to win in order to get in the playoffs. It's got looking at it now, it's kind of got that feel about it.
Yeah.
And also with Bristol. I was going to say with Bristol Rovers too. Once a team actually gets relegated, the pressure's gone. So they actually start performing a lot better. But I'd like to say that we'll possibly get a draw against Doncaster and then beat Bristol Rovers to finish in the playoffs.
I take the view of we should have been out of sight at Doncaster at the Coma. 2-0 up at half time. How we lost that game, I will never know. So that's a game where I think we owe them. I think we can win that one. And then it depends how we cope with the pressure. If we need something on that last day, I think there's enough resilience in the team. If we need a win, I think we can get one. If we need a point, I think we'll get one.
Yeah.
I found the game very strange at Doncaster Rovers, and I'll tell you why. Because in the first half, the referee was just giving us free kick after free kick after free kick all over the park. We were getting free kicked, and I was saying in the live stream, this is, this referee is great. This, we haven't had so many free kicks for everything. We come out in the second half, and straight away he gave them there was like a penalty, wasn't there? That was a bit iffy. I thought he didn't see much of a penalty to me, and then he seemed to be just could not possibly give us a free kick for anything. He was giving everything to Doncaster Rovers. Then in injury time, if you remember, there was an absolute nailed on penalty. I mean, it couldn't have been more clear. A blind man could have seen it from anywhere. It was the most obvious handball in the box with nobody around him, so it wasn't even like he had a block view of it or anything. It was a clear handball, and he doesn't give a penalty at the end, which would have made it 3-3. So I think it's just a weird game, Doncaster Rovers. Right? I don't know. Post in the comments if you agree, but feel like I don't know whether they abducted the referee and put somebody on in his place in the second half. It was just ridiculous.
He could only point in one. He could only point in one direction. So the team's changed, but he didn't. He just kept pointing.
Yeah, he carried on giving it the team going that way. Right, let's just go through
just while we're talking about penalties. I still find it hard to get my head over what happened in the last game against Plymouth. I just feel, looking back on it, the referee didn't give that second penalty, even though it was a stonewall penalty for me because Gabriel got taken out in the box. Yeah. But because the referee had already given that first penalty, I feel that he didn't give that second one. And it's just little things like that that really frustrate me as a Blackpool fan.
Just little decisions that, I think we talked about that on Saturday as well. And I don't like even... that sentence, the referee didn't give it because he'd already given one. This is just bollocks to me. That's not the rules. Yeah. It's absolute garbage. If it's a penalty, it's a penalty. It doesn't matter if you give him 10 before, it's still a penalty. And I would have said, I don't know, I'll ask you all, but the first penalty was, a little bit soft, if I'm being honest. It was I think there was a bit of a push and he went down everything. And, I thought he was generous giving us a penalty, but the second one was, much more a penalty to me than the first one. What do you think?
Yeah.
Did you think?
I'll be back in 2 minutes, so that'll go.
Okay, no problem. We'll see you just in a couple of minutes. Did you think, Phil, that the second one seemed more of a penalty than the first?
I was up and out of my chair, screaming for a penalty. Yeah. Apparently, it doesn't affect the decision even when you're 80 miles away. They can't hear you.
No, unbelievable.
I was still asking.
Should have heard you from Leeds.
I bet you ran outside your house, didn't you, Phil? Come on, referee, it's a penalty. Come on, what are you doing?
Exactly. But not given. So
it wasn't given. There's nothing we can do about it. And at the end of the day, it ended up a draw. But that could have made the difference, couldn't it? That penalty. Reece Jefferson said, "I don't think we'll get. Don't think we'll get the playoffs, and I think we'll finish 5th. I think it means automatic. I think we'll finish 5th. A couple of live stream watch songs ago, I said I think we'll finish 9th, but now I think we're back on form. So I think he's went for 5th. In we'll finish 5th." Michael Haig is saying, I think Mitchell has played okay since he came in the side with Ward alongside him. I think Mitchell's been great. I think we've touched on that quite a few times now, haven't we? I think he's we've kind of played better with Mitchell than Hamilton, people have been saying. So maybe Hamilton is not the greatest loss that we're thinking it was. The edgy ones is here saying, George is here. Hamilton is great with pace. He will get behind a defender and then goes for the near post. Low shot and it never works. Medine needed for me. Yates and Medine masterclass inbound. Yeah. Apparently he's been for another test, hasn't he, Medine? I think they've said he's gone for a further test on this problem that he's got. Michael Higgs thinks that Mitchell has a better final ball in him. Would you agree with that? CJ Hamilton wastes quite a lot of crosses, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. His end product is not as good as what it should be. I said it a bit earlier on today that before he got the injury, he was developing in that area. But since he's come back, he's just his pace is fantastic. And in a team, you really want that pace to get you from one end to the other of the pitch. Yeah. But for me personally, apart from the first half against Plymouth, I think Mitchell has been a sensation. I think he's been absolutely brilliant. And for me, if I don't see his name sheet, if I don't see his name on the team sheet against Swindon, I'm going to be disappointed because he's put me in that position for he played exceptionally well. That I love the guy. I think he's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Let's just go to the comments. There's quite a lot come in. Pool fan says Critchley has been a breath of fresh air this season. I think most Blackpool fans would agree with that. In fact, Jane actually reckons he is Vulcan because he doesn't show any emotion and everything's logical, and she thinks he's Vulcan.
I think he's a bit. He always has a twinkle in his eye. I think he's a bit. I bet you off camera, but he's quite. I bet he can be a good company.
Yeah, definitely. I saw something on social media over the last couple of days saying that Critchley is the best manager in the division, and with Critchley from the first game until now, it's been a journey, and we've been able to be on this journey with him, and we've seen where he's developed, and he's actually learned as a manager. Obviously, coming in from playing under 23 football to actual men's football, it was going to take, that is going to be a bit of a transition. Yeah. But now, yeah, definitely. I mean, with Critchley in charge, that we're going to play attacking football. It's going to be great football, and we've got a very good chance of winning each game.
Yeah, totally agree.
We're not frightened of anybody, are we?
No, we're not.
They should be frightened of us.
Toby Royales is here. Hello, Toby. He says, I think the flexibility we have in our defence and attacks playoffs is still possible. He says, is there any update on Stewart and Keshi, as I think they will be a big help for the playoff push? Well, I know Stewart, it's proving to. I've heard he's still on crutches, so I don't think he's going to be available for a while. I seem to remember that Keshi was out for the season, wasn't he? When he was out, they'd already said he was out for the season, so I don't think there's any chance of Keshi coming back. Bez is the weird one for me, where he's just Ollie's back, which is great because the edgy ones, George has just said, just realised that's Ollie. Go on, the lad. He said, so you must know George, the edgy one. Yeah, Ollie.
I have to go sort the dogs out.
No problem. No problem. That's fine.
Made myself a couple of hours.
Let's have a look. Forever Football PFC saying we have mediocre fixtures and some bottom, some top. We will have a look at you soon because we're going to do Hull first, then we'll do Peterborough. So that'll be coming. Tom Walker says, I think Blackpool draw too much to go up this season. Well, we're not losing either, are we? Which is still a good sign of a team that's, you're not losing. We did fight back. In that game at half time, you were, I don't know if you're like me, but you're thinking, we could have easily been 2 or 3 down, couldn't we? And we were still in the game. And I thought, how are they going to come out in the second half? How are they going to deal with it? And they did deal with it, didn't they? They played really well in the second half.
When you look to that league table before, you think we draw too many. All the other teams at the top have drawn just as many as us, and Sunderland, I think, have drawn 13 of them. So, we're not the only ones drawing a lot of games. Obviously, it's frustrating when you don't win them, especially when you're in winning positions late on. But it could be worse.
Yeah, I think when I looked, we've actually only lost 1 in 14 games.
Yeah,
that's a fantastic return.
It is. It is amazing, and you just hope that it's not the injuries that ruin it for us. But Stephen Roberts says he might not even watch Monday. He just can't watch the Gillingham. It's so painful to watch. I can understand you. I can. Toby Riles is saying, will Embleton be available to play against Sunderland? No, he will not. So I'm afraid we've no Embleton against Sunderland, which could be a factor. But you just got to hope that Ethan Robson.
Robson's Sunderland, though, isn't it?
No, he's ours, isn't he, Robson?
We bought, he's one of ours.
He was from Sunderland.
Yeah, we bought Robson and we've got Embleton on loan.
Yeah, we just can't play. We can't play him. Let's just go down the comments. Brian Thompson says, yes, Phil is right about the Stadium of Light, although we've lost at home twice. 2011 and 2019, yeah.
2019, I think they took like 8,000 fans, something, wasn't it?
They did. They were
so that's probably one of the reasons they won there at that time. But
Eugene McGee is saying, what is Blackpool's best formation in the League One this season? I think Blackpool's best formation is 4-2-3-1. Well, it's worked a treat, hasn't it, since we changed? We were all, I'll answer for me, I think when we've got Medine and Yates in, you've got to play 4-4-2 because the team suits it. But without Medine, and with one striker up front of Jerry Yates, trying to put Ellis Sims in Medine's place hasn't worked. So yeah, for me, 4-2-3-1. If we've known Medine, would we all agree on that?
Yeah, it's a little crazy how it shifted, actually, because I remember a lot of Blackpool fans saying 4-4-2 was the best formation, and when Critchley didn't play 4-4-2, a lot of fans were getting on his back saying, he doesn't know what he's doing, Critchley out and all this. And then all of a sudden, the next thing I see, 4-2-3-1. Yeah, it's working really well for us, but I think it's just that shift was a little bit crazy.
It's that players in positions that suit them, and 4-4-2 doesn't suit us without Medine.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Without Hamilton either, really, to be fair.
Yeah, good point.
we just ping it to. We play a lot of long balls down to Hamilton, don't we? That's we go a bit long bally. Tom Walker says a big fan of Ollie's DJ work. So there you are, fame on here already. Right, I like this post from Ian Craven actually. Once the playoffs are confirmed, this is obviously a confident post that we're going to be confirming the playoffs early on. He said, "Would you rest some of the players for the playoff games? Would you save them for injuries, or would you just be trying for automatic?" I'd still be trying for automatic me if I could. I think I think I'd want to
it's
avoid
momentum.
If I
It's
could.
momentum. You give players time off towards that end of the season. Forest did it against us in 2010, and that's why we beat them home and away in the playoffs. They rested because we played them in the league about 2 weeks before, and he put half a team out because they were already in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think you've got to be real. Sorry,
comes back to bite you.
Can do, yeah.
I think we've also got to be realistic as well, because we've, for the first time that I've ever known, we've got so many players out through injury. That once we get into the, once we've cemented our place in the top 6, hopefully, maybe we should be looking to rest 1 or 2 players. That, depending on who comes back and who doesn't. It
all depends on the squad, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course. I mean, if nobody comes back and the players are playing game after game after game, then you want to give them a little bit of a rest so they can be fresh for the playoffs.
Yeah.
All do we get in the playoffs as well, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because we do well against Sunderland, maybe a certain team set for Sunderland, and then we get them in the playoffs. It's like you'd want to keep the same players, that played against Sunderland through the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forever Football, Peterborough United FC is saying Blackpool. He's actually saying that Blackpool are their bogey team. We beat us every single time. So I suppose he's glad he hasn't got Blackpool to play then, has he?
Just point out, the first trip we ever ran as Yorkshire Seasiders was to Peterborough in 2003, the day of the the Rugby Union World Cup when England won it. We were listening to that on the way down. They were playing in Australia, and that was the first time we won at London Road in about 30 years. So it's changed to what it was. We've turned it around.
He's only a young Peterborough United fan, so he doesn't know the history. I think that's what it is.
No,
they were quite a tough team for us. It's just
absolutely.
recent.
Yeah.
Toby Royale says, I think with the returns and the possible returns of Ballard, Ekpiteta, Husband, Medine, not sure on Keshi, obviously. I don't think that's going to happen. They will be good additions coming back for the last few games.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Would you ever consider, because we've got, if once Ballard and Ekpiteta are back and Husband are back, we've got an absolute, we've got loads of centre halves, haven't we? Would you consider Ekpiteta going up as a forward?
No.
Do you know how loads of players in history? No, you wouldn't. No. There's been so many defenders in history have moved from being a centre half to a centre forward, and it's just come off.
He's got the height. He's got the height, hasn't he? He's got the height for it.
He's got the height. He's got the build.
I don't know if he's got the
probably hold the ball up better than Ellis Sims, and he's scoring goals.
I was just thinking, are you getting excited because he scored a couple of goals?
Yeah.
He's missed a few sitters before that. Yeah. For me, if you had to move any of those to centre forward, I'd be moving Ballard up.
Would you? Okay.
There you go.
Holloway used to do it with Everett, didn't he? He used to put Everett up like the last 10-15 minutes.
He did, yeah.
And it works.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm just thinking if Medine's not back, one of these centre halves, because we've got loads of them, haven't we? And if they're all back, you can't play them all. You've got Gretterson, you've got Husband, you've got Ekpiteta, and you've got Ballard. That's 4 of them, so they can't all play. So they'd be useful, wouldn't they, as a sort of a makeshift. Who was the guy from Blackburn Rovers that became the most famous, centre half that they pushed up as a striker, and he became like. Who was he? I can't think of his name.
Colin Hendry.
Colin Hendry.
No, not Hendry. No,
Ian Marshall.
No,
we've had a few.
Became really famous as a striker in the end. They moved him from centre half. I can't remember his name. Somebody will post it in the comments and
sure.
tell us. Stephen Roberts says the problem with injuries coming back, they've all been pretty long term and nowhere near match fit, and we're running out of games for them to hit form. Well, that was one of the things with CJ Hamilton. He was flying, wasn't he, before he got injured, and then he came back and he wasn't quite the player he was, and his crosses were getting better as well, I thought, before he got injured.
Yeah,
so,
that's definitely a concern for me, because when you looked at how Critchley handled the CJ situation, if I was a manager, I would have put him in maybe for the last 20-30 minutes of a game and bedded him back that way. But it just really seemed that Critchley just chucked him back in the deep end, and you don't know whether that's contributed to his injury now. I just think that maybe he was brought back a bit too quickly, and you'd hope that wouldn't happen to the other players that coming back. But then we're having such limited amount of available players. What can you do?
I think the way we've been playing with our defence recently, anyway, due to scrapes of what we've got, he wouldn't have to rush him back. To be fair, with Turton playing at centre back, and to say is what a right back and been playing well, I'd say he wouldn't have to rush him back.
No.
Yeah.
George actually says if we win the playoffs and Barton to become Preston manager, that would be his perfect end to the football season. There has been rumours of Barton going to Preston. That would be oh my gosh.
He's 6-4. He was 6-4 on favourite with one bookie, wasn't he? I don't know where they got that from.
I've got a question for you, lads. Right. Hopefully Blackpool finish in the playoffs. Right. My question is, who would you want to get in the semi-finals, and who would you want to get in the final?
Should we just put the table back up so we can have a little look at that? Let's have a look at let's put the table up.
Because I personally think that Plymouth, and I still think Sunderland. Sunderland are going to finish top two.
Plymouth.
Sorry, not Plymouth. I've got Plymouth on my mind. Peterborough. Yeah.
Peterborough.
Peterborough.
Not Hull then.
Portsmouth.
I don't know. I'm unsure about Hull.
I'd quite fancy playing Portsmouth, despite the Cowley brothers going in. I think we beat Portsmouth quite a lot recently. I think they'd be worried about us.
I'd take Portsmouth in the semis, and I'd take Lincoln in the final. That's what I'll take.
Yeah.
Right, so
I don't think you'd want Sunderland. Hull were a championship side last year. So, but I'd fancy Peterborough if they were in the playoffs. They'd be really worried about us.
Well, we've just been told that we're their bogey side. So
so
that's a good. Peter's in. Peter Wake is saying, "Great show, boys. Freddie talks sense. Ollie, I'm impressed with, and also our leader, Phil." There you go.
Thank you, Peter. I like that.
Great. Thanks for the support. Really appreciate it. Right, I tell you what, I'm going to go through the other clubs' run-ins. Let's start off with Hull City first.
I just wanted to quickly add, if my thinking is correct, you never know. If Hull fall out the top two and we get Hull in the semi-finals, then Hull go into that game knowing that we're beating them home and away.
No,
so we've got 6
points. Drawn. We've got 4 points.
Sorry, you have. Beg your pardon. Yeah, we've had 4 points out of 6, so that'll give them a bit of an anxiety, won't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just looking at this, Hull have got Crewe away. Then they've got Northampton Town at home. Then they've got Plymouth away, which, we've just played Plymouth and they're not easy, are they? They're not not as easy as I thought. They've got Fleetwood at home. So we're looking for little Fleetwood. Our little brothers down the road to do us a favour there. Then they've got Sunderland at home. They've got Lincoln City away, Wigan Athletic at home. And the final game of the season is Charlton away. It's not the easiest of run-ins, that, would you say, for Hull? Looking at that,
I'd say it's easier of some. It's easier than ours, put it that way, I think.
Do you think? Yeah.
Well, we've played Crewe and they looked a very decent team on the day, and they looked actually better than us on the day. I don't know how they're playing now, but Northampton Town, I think that's winnable for them. Plymouth away, it's not going to be. It's a long travel as well, isn't it, from Sunderland down to Plymouth? It's a long way. Fleetwood. Grace, and I can't see him doing anything there. I think they'll get beat. Useless.
That tram stop in Blackpool.
They
Yeah,
do
it's
some
a proper fish derby, that, isn't it? Hull and Fleetwood.
We can't rely on them, can we? Sunderland at home. Do we? I mean, would we want Sunderland or Hull to win that, or a draw maybe?
A draw and 3 sendings off.
Yeah. Lincoln City away. Can Lincoln have got some players back by that time and still be fighting for the playoffs? That could be a tricky game. Wigan could be battling for their lives down there, and they have managed to do a few decent. And Charlton away. I feel that Charlton will just be a mid-table team. I think they've played too many games, and I don't really think they're in it. So, do you think Hull are going to go up as champions looking at that, or do you think they may fall apart at the seams?
I was hoping that Hull would fall out the top 2, like I just said, but looking at those fixtures, it's pretty hard to think that they won't finish top 2. In all honesty, the only real difficult games they've got there is probably Sunderland at home and Lincoln away.
I think their problem is the team. If the team's just below them carrying on winning, they've played more games, haven't they? So other teams can go above them without them being able to do anything about it.
Yeah,
even if they win them all.
They've got a pressure on them to win all them games, haven't they? So
I think so.
Yeah.
So you're all quite happy with that, are you? Then I was thinking that looked a bit tricky, but no, you don't think it is, right? Let's have a look at who's next. Then we've got Peterborough, right? We've got Peterborough fans in, so let's have a look what Peterborough have got. There we go. Let's just get Peterborough up on my screen. Up to there. Share.
Why are you doing that? I think Peterborough is a really good team. I think their back 4 is a little bit rocky, but then obviously the beating. They won 7-0, didn't they, against Accrington?
Yeah.
So that would have given them the confidence back. I think Peterborough finished top 2, if not champions.
Right. Well, the thing with Peterborough that we've seen is that they're very good at home and they're not so good away, are they? You know, the fans are saying they're brilliant at home, but the away form is pretty poor. So their away games, they're away at Fleetwood. So again, garbage Fleetwood, in it. You can't rely on them for it. Swindon Town away, Charlton away again, and they finish up with Doncaster, who've fallen apart. So they've got 4 away games there that on paper I think are all winnable.
Yeah, and they've got 5 home games as well. Looking at them fixtures,
which is
there's only Northampton there. Would you say was nailed on victory? The others are tough home games. Actually, I didn't realise
Gillingham.
Donny and Lincoln.
Tough games to be fair, but you just got to think about Peterborough's home form, though, haven't you?
Yeah.
They're confident at home.
Right.
They do really well.
Yeah, I think I think you never know with Peterborough. I bet their fans think like we do. You never know which side's going to turn up.
But again, you see, it's we talk about this. Teams have got to play each other. So when you look at that, they've got to play Sunderland, who are they've got to play Donny, who are level with us, and they've got Donny twice, haven't they? Home and away, and then they've got Lincoln City as well. So there's quite a few games there. There's
Points
4 games there.
One way or another, isn't there?
Yeah.
So they will go in our one way in our favour, and which either way, doesn't it? They can't both win. So there's 4 games there with teams around us. So Peterborough, do you think they may miss out on automatic due to that, or do you think that's
No, I think they're finished. I think they're going to finish top 2, Peterborough.
No, I don't.
Right.
Okay.
They were a little bit rocky. The game they played before us, I think it was Rochdale, and then obviously they've lost to us. But then that result they've had against Accrington winning 7-0.
Yeah,
that's going to give them so much confidence going into the last run.
Accrington reserves, wasn't it? Because they've got so many players out injured. It's unreal.
Yeah.
They were literally playing like some of the reserve players.
Oh, I didn't know that. So that's why it was 7-0 then. They're obviously just playing a reserve side. Right, okay, that explains it, because I was like, God, that's an amazing result, isn't it? So no doubt they'll all be back fit and ready
against us.
Play. It is sometimes the look of the draws when you get to play teams, isn't it? You do get that. You just meet teams at the right time, don't you? So right, okay, so that's Peterborough United done. Right, okay, well, I'll go on to that. We'll do Sunderland next.
Yeah, I agree with Freddie to some extent in that they're definitely top 6, but I'm not. I think it's 3 to 6 rather than top 2.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think will win Division 1? I think that's a good question.
yeah, put it in the comments as well. You know, that's a question to the guests as well, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
If Sunderland manage to beat us, then I think they'll go top and win it. But if they manage to get a draw against us and a win and a loss, and I think we'll.
Yeah.
Right. So here we are. Here is Sunderland.
It's Sunderland for me, depending on how we get on with them. I think that's where our season hangs.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So Sunderland have got Oxford United at home. Then they've got Peterborough United away, Charlton at home, Wigan away, Blackpool away, Hull away, Accrington Stanley at home, Blackpool at home, Plymouth away, and Northampton at home. That's not the easiest of run-ins, would you say that? I think that's pretty tricky.
They're gonna have to be on form going into those fixtures.
Yeah, that's see, Oxford won't have given up hope of getting in the top 6 either yet, will they? So after winning on against Lincoln the other day, they're only just outside, aren't they? That's not an easy game for starters. And as we've just talked about, Peterborough should be confident on Easter Monday. Tough set of fixtures, that.
Yeah. I think that's the toughest that we've seen out the lot so far.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I'm going to put this comment up because we need to address this. We keep getting this all the time out, Freddie. Now, Clancy, as a Fleetwood fan, how does Freddie feel about it all? Well, I think we've established quite a lot now that Freddie went to watch Fleetwood in the not a penny more years when Blackpool fans were not going to Bloomfield Road and were allowed to go to any other, it wasn't not a football anymore. It was just, you weren't, the idea was not to go into Bloomfield Road and put pound notes into the Oyston's pockets. You could either go and watch Blackpool away if you wanted, or you could take in, AFC Filed or non-league if you wanted. So,
what I will add,
do you class yourself as a Fleetwood fan?
Oh, massive! No, not all. Niall's actually a friend of mine. He works with me at Wetherspoons, but yeah, he messaged me a little bit earlier on, and he asked me to give him say hello to him. So it's obviously just having a little bit of banter because he didn't say hello. So hello, Niall. How you doing, mate? No, just like it's good to actually finally address this because I know that a few people have put it on Twitter. No, I'm not a Fleetwood fan. I actually had a really good friend called John. Who used to go to the games at home quite regularly, and he invited me one day. He had a free ticket, and I thought, do you know what? Why not? I've not been able to go watch Blackpool. I really miss going to a game, so why not? I'm not a Fleetwood fan. So I went to a game. I went to a couple, but just like you said there, Lee, the boycott was against the Oystons. It was never against football. And I don't feel I did anything wrong going and watching a Fleetwood game. So
lots of Blackpool fans did at the time.
My mate Ken had a season ticket holder. He was a season ticket holder at Fleetwood during that period, but every time we played him, he wanted him to lose. So
he was a season ticket holder at FC Filed and 2 daughters. He went to the FC Filed, and now he's back at Blackpool. You know what I mean? It's just we just couldn't go to Blackpool games. So
I also went to a couple of Manchester City games. I also went to a couple of AFC File games, but nobody touches upon that.
Why not though? If you wanted to go and watch football, if you wanted to go and watch non-league or whatever, we just weren't going to Blackpool matches. John Butterworth says, if we win 5, draw 5 and lose 1, that's 20 points. Would that be enough for the playoffs? Because that's a realistic outcome. That would give us 73 points. Would that get us in the playoffs? 5 wins, 5 draws, and a loss. I think personally, I don't know whether we can lose. I don't know whether we're
77, wasn't it? We're on 57, aren't we?
Yeah, is there any chance of putting that table back up, Lee, so we can have a look at it?
Yeah, right. Just give us a
second. I'd rather draw 5, win 7 and lose 3 than draw 5. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, it would be. Let's just put the table back up.
And over the last few years, looking at it, obviously not last year because of COVID, but 74 points has always been enough to get into the playoffs. So I think if we aim for 74 points and then everything else after that is a bonus.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
We're on 57. So yeah, so that would be 77 points. That would normally get you in the playoffs.
Yeah.
77 points.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially as we've just seen, a load of teams playing each other. They've got to drop. That might bring the average down because they've all got to play each other. Somebody has to drop points.
What's this? Is that Ollie Lee's son? No, he's not my son. He lives in Leeds. But he's got Charles down there. No, he's not.
I actually asked before going into this event tonight that was he a relation?
Yeah, Toby Royale says he thinks we need to put games to bed more early. Yeah, well we do, and we need to start off better than we did against Plymouth. It was a very strange start after watching the way we played against Peterborough, but I think we left a lot of it in that game, didn't we?
Yeah, to be fair, knackered from playing for I don't know how long, Saturday, Tuesday. Do you know what I mean? And no rotation in the team whatsoever due to injuries. So I think that's one of the reasons why.
Yeah. Peter Wake says the Yorkshire Seasiders coach is booked already for Wembley. So blooming heck, so they are confident. The Yorkshire Seasiders. There's so many posts here. Sorry,
I've got my hotel booked. I've got petrol in the car. I'm just waiting for the date.
28th of May.
I think we're gonna have to come to some of these.
I'll pick you up on the way, Phil.
Yeah, good man. Good man. Yeah.
You'll be driving, coach, Phil.
Yeah, I'll be driving that bus. That's what
I'll drive to you, then I'll have a few beers on the way to Wembley. Get on the bus. Yeah.
Sirius is here. Says you'll get promoted next season. Mark my words. So I don't know where Sirius is from. We'll have to find out where he's from.
I think he's a Sunderland fan. Looking at some of the other comments.
Giles is here. I don't know where you're from as well. So we're flying at the minute. We have to play Hull and Peterborough. Blackpool, Portsmouth for me are dark horses. They don't play anywhere in the top half of the table. From Sunderland fan. Yeah. I'll tell you what. While I've got that come on, we'll just go and have a look at, because I think they've got a really easy run. Portsmouth. I think they have the easiest run of the lot, to be honest. Let me just get them up on the.
Well, the Marquis misses 3 matches, doesn't he? Starting this week after getting sent off on Saturday. He got straight red on Saturday, and he's their top goal scorer. So.
For who?
For Portsmouth.
Portsmouth, yeah.
Oh, he got sent off, did he?
3 match ban.
Okay.
I know it's not Blackpool. But it's football related. Have you guys heard that Lewandowski is injured for Wednesday?
Yeah, he's their far and away their best player, isn't he?
Yeah, I thought that's a real positive that for England.
Yeah,
right. So have a look at this run for Portsmouth. I think this is the easiest of the lot. They got Rochdale at home, Wigan away, Burton at home, Crewe away, MK Dons away, Swindon Town away, Bristol Rovers at home, Accrington Stanley away, AFC Wimbledon away, and Accrington Stanley at home. I think that is of all the run-ins, especially if you're saying Accrington Stanley down to kids and playing youth players. Unless they get players back, that is a very there's nobody, is there in the not one team you'd fear in any of that lot, is there really? Apart from maybe Burton Albion, who have been surprising people.
They seem to have lost a little bit of form at the minute. I know they've had a couple of losses now, haven't they, from that big run that they had.
Yeah,
I think it was playing us that did them in, didn't it?
Nothing since they played us, have they? No.
Yeah.
No. Ian Craven is saying Hull City to win the league. They're confident there in Hull. I mean, they are putting the points on the board. Then people may have, people may have games in hand, but they are putting up the.
I can see Portsmouth getting 30 points out of that.
Yeah. What, 10 results? 10 wins from 11?
Look at
10 even.
Yeah,
I don't think they'll get 30.
It never is it? There'll always be slip-ups somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
But to be fair, out of all the runs we've seen so far, that is the easiest without a shadow of a doubt.
I thought it was. I thought there's just nothing there, is there? They're all winnable. If that was our running, you'd be thinking, "Oh, flipping!" Wouldn't you? Looking at that, Wigan, Burton, and Crewe. Crewe, Swindon Town, Bristol Rovers, Accrington Stanley gone to pieces. Wimbledon were nothing, were they? Really?
No.
I tell you.
And they've got that new manager bounce, haven't they?
In the league, from Sunderland fans, they reckon they're going to win it. Sunderland. Peter Donnelly actually says Sunderland probably will win the league. They've got to just beat us though twice, haven't they?
Yeah.
Beat us, yeah.
And they
I
have
think
got,
if they do beat us, then I think they will win the mission. I think they will
Yeah.
win the league. But
they say they've got the GOAT, Charlie Wyke and Aidan McGeady. Bring anyone on, they say. They're very confident, Sunderland, aren't they?
That's the only two players that they've really got, to be fair. Aidan McGeady and Charlie White.
Yeah.
No one else from that team really stands out, to be fair.
For the size of Charlie Wyke, I can't believe every time I watch the goals highlights on Quest, he's always in about 3 yards of space getting tap-ins. He doesn't seem why is nobody marking him?
Maybe he just has that ability to free himself.
Yeah,
Jane's actually posted. Oh, Jane, she's working, beavering away on her coursework, but she's putting the top three have scored shed loads more than everyone else. So I think they'll be hard to catch. I mean, they are, aren't they? You know, the goal difference for the top three is unbelievable. There's like plus 28, and you know, it's incredible amount of goals they've scored. So she could be right there. They will be hard to catch, but maybe the goals will dry up.
Yeah.
When the pressure's on.
Yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed. Jane's actually started something with me now, because every time I'm watching a game and Embleton touches the ball, I've got a song in my head. Embo, Embo, Embo.
What have you?
Yeah, someone's saying that. Gurney saying, you're not in court, Freddie. You've not committed a crime. No. Okay.
Thank you.
Jane Stewart said she needed football during the boycott, so she worked for another club. Went to every game. Now, wrong with that. Yeah, she went to. She was a match secretary for Chasetown at the time, so she went non-league.
All right, brilliant.
Yeah. What Sunderland thinks. Eric Claxton is here. I do like his name. It just. You want to say Clapton, don't you? I think you'll do it. I'm from Suffolk, by the way. Yeah, I think we definitely got the. I think the playoffs we can do.
Yeah. Anything else is a bonus, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is really. Yeah.
I think if we do get in the playoffs as well, we've got that momentum because 2 weeks ago we were 12. So let's keep that momentum going, and it's always the team with momentum that goes up, and that's usually us.
Two Sunderland fans are saying they can't understand why they let Embleton out on loan. Seriously saying, is Embleton playing for you guys because he's great? Yes, he is, but he can't play against you. Unfortunately, so that's.
Has that been confirmed? Because
yes, no, he can't.
Yeah, it's part of the rules of the league. Unless there's written consent from the parent club, the player can't play against them.
I'm just wondering, did they make a mistake and give us that consent? It has happened before, hasn't it? Once or twice. But
yeah.
I doubt it. But there you go.
I don't think they are. I'm pretty sure they are not doing that. I'm pretty sure they're not. Right, we haven't had a look at Lincoln, have we? Let's have a look at Lincoln City's running. I'm not. I don't think Lincoln are going to be there. I think they've just got too many problems. With injuries. It's really hampered them, and I think they've actually said they've kind of given up on it. So, because at one time they're looking like they're going to run away, weren't they, Lincoln?
Yeah.
So Lincoln have got Milton Keynes Dons at home, Charlton away, Blackpool at home, Bristol Rovers away, Burton Albion away, Hull City at home, Shrewsbury Town away, Peterborough United away, and Wimbledon at home on the last game of the season. Not the easiest. There's a few.
No, there's a few tricky ones in there.
Yeah, the last four. Look at the last 4 games, and it's pretty tough for them.
Yeah. Blackpool at home, I think will beat them. Burton, you never know. Hull City, I think will beat them. Peterborough, I think will beat them. So I think there's a few losses in there for Lincoln.
Yeah, Shrewsbury's not an easy place to go to, is it?
No. You say Blackpool don't win there very often, do they? So no, it's not easy. Who else have we got?
I've thought of another team where we've won in the league for the first time ever. Fleetwood. We've beat them in the cup a few times, but this season's the first time we've won at Fleetwood in the league.
Oh wow! Okay, yes. Yeah, so all right. One. Blimey. Right. We'll now take a look at Donny Rovers, who are a team that are like with us, aren't they? We're on the same points now. They were way ahead of us at one time, so we've caught them up. So they have gone a little bit to pieces, haven't they, Donny Rovers? Let's have a look at.
Well, I thought they were top 2 material when they beat us. They were right up there, weren't they? But like you say,
so they've got
a couple of good players.
Yeah,
they've got a couple of good players in that team. It's just I think they've just hit a bad form at the wrong part of the season.
And they've lost the manager, you know.
I think
Sheffield Wednesday took
losing the manager's had a big effect on them, I think.
I think so,
Yeah.
And they also, they sold their main centre midfielder, didn't they, to Preston? But he's done, you know, they've done nothing at Preston. It's not been a good move for him, has it? Preston have gone to Derby since he went there. So they've got Charlton at home, Bristol Rovers away, Wigan Athletic at home, Burton Albion at home, Shrewsbury away, Aki away, Fleetwood at home, Peterborough away, Rochdale away, Blackpool away, and Peterborough United at home. So they've got to play Peterborough twice in the last 4 games, and Blackpool. That's a tough last 4 games for them, isn't it? Really.
Yeah. If it does come to the last 2 games, looking at that, I'm fairly confident, because say if they get a draw at Bloomfield Road, and then it's a case of winning the last game to finish in the playoffs. We've got Bristol Rovers, and they've got Peterborough United. And out of the 2, I'd rather have Bristol Rovers.
Yep,
it's a good point.
I agree with that.
Yeah, Ollie, what do you reckon to that for Donny Rovers? Are they going to miss out? Would you say?
Well, the first 4 games, you'd think they could get at least 3, maybe 7 points out of the first 4 that they've got. But with the form they're on now, you'd think maybe not. But where they are on the table, you'd think that. But with the form, maybe not so. But then it's League One, and it can change like that. Do you know what I mean? So I still do. I think they will miss out. Yeah, I think they went on some big, massive road, and now it's just.
That's the hardest final few games out of all the ones we've seen, isn't it? Especially with three of the 4 being away.
Yeah, it's a real toughie, isn't it? That it's a real tough run. You wouldn't like that if that was us. I'd be thinking, bloody hell, we got Peterborough home and away.
And depending on Rochdale's last 10 games as well, they might even have a sort of sniff of trying to stay up. So they'll be wanting to, you know, all guns out blazing. So
Yeah.
So we're all agreed Donny are going to blow it. Can't make it.
If you're a Doncaster fan, you'd be hoping to have cemented your player place around the Fleetwood game.
Yeah,
because the chances are they're probably going to beat Rochdale away, but then to play Peterborough United twice and then Blackpool us as well, that's not easy that at all.
No, it's a real tough run in that. That is probably
unless they'll be thinking like we are. If we beat Sunderland twice, we're right in it, and they'll be thinking if they can beat Peterborough twice and Blackpool, they're right in it. So it depends how you see it, doesn't it? But
it's to MK the weekend, they'll be thinking maybe we can't beat Peterborough twice.
It's a toughie.
Brian Thompson's come up with Ipswich unbeaten in 4, lost 1 in 7. Well, they're not in the top 10 at the moment, are they? They've fallen down, but they're still in there. I haven't gone that far down, to be honest, as down to 12. We'll be here all night. But
I won't even say they're in there because they haven't got really any games in hand. I think they've got.
They've played more than 7. Yeah.
So go out of it. See you later.
Goodbye. Good night. God bless. Do one.
Jake John says if we beat Blackpool next week, I think we'll get top 6. Will that be? Is he thinking Gillingham? Is he thinking that?
Gillingham on Easter Monday must be.
You're dreaming, Jake. Anti-football. It's not going to happen. Somebody's asked actually, who do you think is going to go down? Well, so here we are. Eugene McGeever. Who do you think we relegate from League One this season? Rochdale, Bristol Rovers, and Wigan. Would you say that?
I don't think we're going to go down. I think they've got enough about them just to stay up.
Yeah. So
if you look at a few of their results recently, they've got a couple of okay players. Obviously, Curtis Tilt's there now. They've got Will Keane. I think they'll just do just enough to stay up. I think.
As well.
Yeah, I think Rochdale will go down. I think Bristol Rovers will go down. But
I AFC Wimbledon, to be honest.
Wimbledon would have been my choice.
I think Wimbledon will go. Yeah.
Wimbledon, Rochdale, and Bristol Rovers for me.
There's 4 go down, so I think Wigan will come out of the bottom 4. Northampton will go in. They're currently 5th bottom.
4 go down.
Northampton or Swindon at the bottom, or they're 5th and 6th place at the minute.
Wow. Okay.
I'm going to stick my neck out here. I kind of hope that Swindon go down Just, I know it's not very nice saying, but because when they actually got promoted, they were like, at the beginning of the season, they were like, oh yeah, we're going to walk this league, we're going to get a double promotion. But they've actually found out that it is a tough league, a very tough league.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And then they lost half a team to us. So,
I still think
yes, we did we did take a few, didn't we? We took Keshi Anderson and Jerry Yates. Well, he wasn't there, so he'd been on loan, hadn't he?
Yeah.
So, let's have a little look at the next one, which is Oxford United. I think, really, I don't see Oxford going to make it. I don't think. I think they've got too many games.
One thing I always think of when I think about Swindon is I can't believe Richie Wellens left a secure job with Swindon to go and take the job at Salford, and then he got sacked. Yeah. He had a secure job at Swindon. He did really well in League Two. He got him promoted. He should have stayed there. I think he made a really big mistake leaving Swindon for Salford.
I'm sure he does as well, Freddie, actually. I'm sure he does as well. So Oxford United, they've got Sunderland away, Aki at home, Crewe away, Shrewsbury keep coming up everywhere, home, Gillingham at home, AFC Wimbledon away, Plymouth at home. They got Shrewsbury again away, and Burton Albion home on the last game of the season. So there's winnable games in there, isn't there? But I don't know if they're good enough. Oxford United, I don't think.
I think that they have to get two good results out of Sunderland and Aki to give them a chance. I think. Yeah. Otherwise, they've played more games than us, haven't they? I think.
Yes,
they're falling behind if they don't get something out of those games.
Yeah.
They are. So we don't see them as a threat, really. Oxford, no.
I think with Oxford, they had that really impressive run, didn't they? I think they were around the relegation zone. Yeah, and then they won that 10-11 games in a row, and they've come right up the league. But obviously, the last couple of games, they've hit the form's dipped again.
Yeah.
I don't think Oxford are going to be a threat to us, in all honesty.
I don't. To be fair, apart from who is it now? I don't really see anyone below us taking over. To be fair, I don't. Is Portsmouth? No, they're below us.
Portsmouth are above us, but we've got a game in hand on Portsmouth, so theoretically we could get above. Above Portsmouth. Right. Okay. So the next team, we've just got two more to do.
Okay.
We have got. Put it up there. The next one is Charlton, which I don't think they've got a chance, to be honest. Charlton, I think they're the ones that they've only got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 games left. But it is, isn't it? Yeah.
I was going to say they can do us a favour there.
They can
by beating some of them.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, they've got got Donny to play, Lincoln to play, Sunderland to play, Ipswich to play, Peterborough to play.
Yeah, and Hull.
Stanley and Hull.
Yeah, Hull City in the last game of the season.
If they could go on a roll and just beat all them teams for us and lose the others, that'd be perfect for us. So if we can get them to beat Donny, beat Lincoln, beat Sunderland, beat Ipswich, beat Peterborough, and beat Hull on the final game of the season.
And not finishing the playoffs all doing that.
Yeah. It's a big ask.
So maybe they've still got a chance then, Charlton.
Well, if you were a Charlton fan, you'd say it was in your own hands because you can do something about it by beating these teams. But I'm not sure they'll beat these teams.
Every team that's to be above Charlton are all going to come out guns blazing because they know they want that playoff spot. So they're not going to sit back for a draw or try, defend a 1-0 lead. They're going to go at it. Where then that's when Charlton can pick them off, and it could turn. Sideways. It could go back. It could lead to Charlton winning.
Yeah, they've also recently sacked Lee Bowyer, didn't they? And then they've taken Nigel Adkins. I know a lot of their fans, just from purely based on social media, they're really not happy with that appointment.
Really?
I don't think I'd be either.
And did you see the video that Nigel Adkins did walk into the training ground? He looked so full of joy and happiness, didn't he? He looked like he couldn't wait to get into the job. He looked really happy. And I've always seen him as a pretty good manager, actually, Adkins. I've never seen him as a bad one.
I think his ethics is right. I just think maybe it's another similar situation with Grayson. Maybe his philosophy now of football is a little bit dated.
Yeah, they're all sort of dinosaurs to me. Like same like Roy Hodgson and Sam Allardyce. They're all just out of it. They're all same boring tactics, boring way of playing. It's like you need the new.
Yeah.
Like, where's Eddie Howe now? Is he still out? He's out.
He hasn't got a job at the minute, Eddie Howe.
Is he still on contract then, or is he being paid off, or is he just letting the money?
I couldn't say. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it is. He's a really good manager. I personally think. I just think you need someone like the managers like him. You know, the young ones. Well, not as old, should I say.
Yeah, Eddie Howe isn't going to go to League One. Eddie Howe a couple of seasons ago was linked with the England job.
Yeah. Yeah, but you can hang on too long for the good jobs, and they never come along, and then you're Alan Kirbishley, never seen again. You know.
Yep.
Right, this last team to go, and then we'll take some of the comments before we go. So the last team, and we have to mention them. We do. Let's take that out. Share and whoops, it's not gone, was it? That's it. Yeah, okay, so share.
Bill, by the way, just mentioned I like your pink walls.
Yes.
It's lilac. I'll have you know.
Right, so the last team.
He's a cheeky one, isn't he?
We got to mention them. They still think they're in with a chance. Gillingham. But they've only got 8 games to go, Gillingham. They play more than anybody else. They're going to have a heck of a run, aren't they, to do this? So they've got Wigan at home, Blackpool away, Shrewsbury at home, Oxford United away, Peterborough away, Northampton at home, Burton Albion away, and Plymouth Argyle last game of the season. So there is a chance there, isn't there? You know, when you look at those games, there is a chance for them to pick up points. We really need to beat them, don't we?
Pick up points, but I don't see them picking up points, put them in the top 6.
Yeah. I've actually got a friend called Andy. He's a Gillingham fan, and he actually raves about Carl Dempsey.
Right.
I was actually hoping in summer that we'd sign Carl Dempsey because looking at his stats, he's actually got 8 goals from a second midfield position.
Yeah.
But I think he's a good player. I don't really know the other players. I don't think they're going to cause us a problem, to be fair.
I like this from V-Trem. Want to be famous, buy followers, prize and viewers. Well, we're not really interested in this. Should we get rid of that? Who wants that? we need to. Who wants to become famous? Who wants to buy a lot of followers and prize? What an absolute garbage post. But Jake Tonge says, if Steve Evans gets into the playoffs, I could be physically sick. Anti-football, he says. Blimey.
I was reading at the weekend. He says if they get in the playoffs, they'll win them because they're set up. They're the best side for cup football. How he bases that on going out in the second round of the FA Cup, not getting through the group stages of the Papa John's, I don't know, but he says they're best set up for cup football. So there you go.
He might wish.
Yeah, he's pulling himself up there, I think, isn't he?
He's just been extremely biased there with that statement, isn't he?
Yeah. Just a bit.
Bit wishful thinking for me.
Yeah.
So that's your top 10. There's only obviously that team in Suffolk that just starts. I think they're 12th at the moment. I don't think they're good enough, to be honest. I saw Ipswich. You know, Blackpool went to play Ipswich and lost, and I was very, very disappointed in the way we played that day. I thought Ipswich were there for the taking. I didn't think they were all that much. I just thought we played terrible that day. And
that's the last time we lost, though, isn't it? I think we learned something from that.
We did. People are saying let's end the season now while we're in the playoffs. It's not gonna happen.
Points per game.
Points per game would be 4th, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Would be top. Yeah.
Jake Tong is saying that Oxford beat us on Friday. So who will they have played? Who played Oxford on? Was it Lincoln? Yeah. Well, I just think Lincoln are just not playing well. I don't think Oxford are all that good. We played Oxford. They looked pretty average. They looked bang average to me. Oxford, they didn't do much, but they never got out their half. All they did. It was
Do you guys think that our last 11 games is going to be a little bit tougher? When I say that, it's because obviously until 2 games ago, we were actually a bit of an underdog. Nobody really were looking out for us. But now we've actually, hit form with now in the playoffs. Do you think that teams are going to come and play us and up their game even more?
I think it might make teams more scared of us. It might play into our hands.
Okay.
It could go both ways. We could freeze, whereas another team's set up to stop us.
Yeah.
I think it might play into our hands, and as I said, and teams will be a bit worried about us.
Yeah, it'd be nice. It'd definitely be nice.
Yeah.
Jake Tong, is any hopes that the Lincoln versus Blackpool game will be similar to the game? Well, if you remember rightly, the Lincoln game was a game where we just completely threw it away.
We should have beat them. We should have beat them.
The one where we just suddenly imploded and we gave a penalty away and we just put a ball across to Husband, who tried to rescue something and took him from behind. It was just an unbelievable ball they put across to him, which he lost. Then he gave away a penalty, got sent off. So we're down to 10 men, and then we let I don't know who it was, their defender do about 3 keepy ups in the penalty area and score. And it was honestly, I hope it's not anything like that game, Jake. I'm afraid we really gave you the points there. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was when
to be fair, we were still a new team when we played them initially at Bloomfield Road, and if it wouldn't be for the Husband getting sent off, I think we would have beat them. I do. I generally think we would have beat them, but because obviously we've now developed as a team and we've got stronger and stronger, I think we should get a result against Lincoln away.
We have a point to prove there again.
We have
definitely.
We have definitely got a point to prove, haven't we? People have said we also made Peterborough look very average. I mean, we did, and I was looking at that 7-0 and thinking Peter are back, but if they're only playing a bunch of kids, then you can understand why it was 7-0. Maybe it wasn't that good, was it?
Well, Johnson Clark Harris scored a hat-trick, and the combined yardage was about 3 yards. They were all tap-ins on the line, so it wasn't great.
Jane says no one has looked brilliant or terrible this season apart from Blackpool, who have been both. Well, we have actually been brilliant and we have been terrible, haven't we? But I think over the last say 20 games, we've been on average very good, haven't we? Really?
Yeah.
So they are. We've done all the top 10. So final thoughts on it, lads. You've seen all what the other teams have got to go through to get to the end of the season. Are we going to win?
We're going up.
Are we going to get there?
My final thought is we're going up.
Yes.
We're going up. We're all confident we're going up, are we? Is that?
Yeah.
I'm still holding out for an automatic, but if not, I think we're definitely top 6.
By looking at everyone else's pictures above us, I still think all those are possible. It's just it's depending on if we can, keep the foot down and keep playing well and not get any more injuries or any stupid red cards.
Yeah,
that's the main thing.
We do.
Looking for players to come back. To be fair.
Yeah.
I think
now, Jerry Yates,
I think we
just sneaks back in there and there. Then the opposite team's game management is going to have to be set totally different. So that could be a massive favour.
I think we can do it. I think it's in our hands to do it. I think we've got some tough, some tough games ahead, but I think we can do it. I just think with players coming back, if players come back, we can do it.
Yeah. Agreed.
Freddie, you on that?
Yeah, completely.
Okay. Well, I think that's it, folks. I think we've done the whole thing. Thanks for coming on and joining us. Hopefully, we may revisit this in a few games' time. I would think probably after we've played Sunderland twice, we'll know better, won't we? Then as to where we are. But by that time, we should have a really good idea on whether we're going to make it or not. But
fingers crossed.
We're all agreed. We're going up. That's it.
Totally going up.
I'm a Phil. We're going up automatic. There we go.
Go on,
still Jazz for automatic. Come on.